What is up? What is up? Grace and peace, Grand Rising. Um, I know this is an impromptu. I probably won't stay too long. I just wanted to just talk about what's going on with why I've been MIA. Hold on, let me clear this out. And you know, StreamYard and why I haven't. My son was like, "Mom, you gotta He was like, "Mom, you gotta give us something. You gotta give us another live." Hold on, guys. Hold on. Don't forget to hit that like button. Jojo. Okay. Are we cooking with gas? We cooking with gas. All righty. So anyway, StreamYard. I don't. I think it's because of the plan that I had that I like cut off or whatever. So we figure it out. You know, people ain't Trump or Rockefeller right now. We don't got that kind of money. um, what else is that I wanted to discuss? Oh, the readings. Nobody has hit me up, but if you're interested, right now I'm not doing the readings just yet. I know I haven't put any current, um, beginning of the week. I'll probably do the cards later on today. But like I said, this the past couple of weeks have been just like shifts in my house. Um, so I just wanted to like really get myself together before I go back into the swing of things with the readings. And so the website is not really active right now. So if you were looking to do that, I know it's a new year and we want to see what's in store for us. But if you are interested, you can go to my Instagram, which is Foxy_spiritual alchemist. And on there, you can send me a direct message and we can talk from there. As far as going straight into my website to book a reading, please don't do that because right now the schedule is not up. Yeah. Okay. The schedule's not up yet, so I'm not doing. I won't be able to look into that for you. But if you do hit me up on the Instagram page, now give me 2 business days because I don't check that side often. Regularly rather. I won't say often, but regularly. So be patient. I usually say give me 2 business days for that. Um, what else? I think I posted up that I wasn't able to do a live for the all signs in Capricorn, but I was able to do a video for you guys because I didn't want to leave my goats out. We are in Aquarius season right now. Yay! Shout out to the Aquariuses. Red Illusion. I think he has like 5 placements of Aquarius. That's insane. I have my rising first house in Aquarius. So I definitely, as I've gotten older and gone through this, I don't know if you want to call it midlife crisis or midlife spiritual crisis, things have changed. And I definitely resonate and relish in my Aquarian energy. It makes a lot of sense, even though I'm a Cancer sun sign. But I'm a cusper, so I'm more Leo energy. Finding out other things, like I'm always learning. So if I'm not visible with you guys, I'm sorry. The state of what things are right now, it's like I have to say that I put my time in. As far as being a content creator, I don't think that being a content creator in air quotes, is going to be my thing. I have other personal endeavors that I'm going to be doing behind the scenes. So I'll probably be even more silent as the months go by. Um, and that's okay for people, for myself, that shift gears in things. Some people may be relishing now in social media and, seeing that, yes, you can. I don't get into it for the money. That's why I don't care if I come on or not, because I don't get paid. I don't create content like that where I gotta be beasting to get, so many views to get money for it. It is what it is. So make sure to please hit that like button, though, to keep this in the algorithm, and share this live out for anybody that, hasn't seen me in a while. I know I did the Capricorn reading for you guys, but I didn't do them personally. And I don't want you to feel like neglected. I will, if God and Allah provide it. Next week, I can get the Aquarian. Let me get one of my cats out of here. Sorry, guys. I can get my Aquarian readings out for you. I find that it's easier for me to just load up videos as opposed to being live. Again, because I don't know. I feel like I was telling this to my son, and I'm gonna digress. I just wanted to kind of debrief you guys as far as I'm kind of sporadic and in and out. But that's Aquarian energy for you. It's very in, and when it's in, and it's when it's out, it's out. They have shit to do. They got things to do. Again, like I said, I don't get paid on any of these medias, and I'm only really on Instagram and on YouTube. We were talking the other day, and he's like, Mom, you should really try and, going into TikTok. And like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, someone had mentioned that to me behind the scenes as well, look into doing TikTok. And I'm just like, I don't want to be on, I don't want to perform. That's just it. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're just talking about things that you do day to day, you're just talking about bullshit. Like, I don't like to talk to people. I swear I'll go hermit for like days, and my kids would just be like, okay, Ma, you all right? Like, you've been just chilling. I'm kind of like just behind the scenes. Like, I'll post more stuff like on my Instagram, on my private page, and just be a normal person without having to so-called perform and, go on live, and the things that I've talked about. And then also, like, I'm not a skilled, I'm not an astrologer first and foremost, so I cannot always tell you, but I will talk about what is going on just by being an avid, a novel person who's interested in what's going on with the celestial alignments. But I don't know it all like that. So I can't go into certain places and avenues where I don't really know it completely and give my spin on it. So I stay quiet. If I don't know anything, if I don't know it, I'm not gonna say if I don't know anything, because I know some things. But if I don't know it, I'm gonna stay quiet. I don't even go onto other people's pages the way I used to anymore in YouTube, just because like a metamorphosis is going on within me, mentally trying to decompress from, my aunt passing away in May, and me being there helping her and her son, and things at home and health, and my children, just being a person and a parent first and foremost. Like, that takes precedence of me going on any kind of social media live and performing and just talking. If I have more time, maybe like I said, I'll come on a little more frequently. So that's why I'm like, hold on, just give me some time. I'll try to come on a little bit more often, but then I can't promise you that. Like I said, there's other things, there's other endeavors that I have been putting off, and just seeing the way the future is going with my family. My daughters, my oldest is getting married this year. So I'm involved in that aspect. My youngest is, there's the college thing going on here, so we got that going on, and then preparing for my 50th birthday this year. So it's just being focused with life, being focused with my life, being focused with my family. And I'm sure other people are doing this right now. So, if you do get paid for coming on social media, then yeah, that's your job. And you need to come on every day. You need to come on twice a day. You need to come on how many amount of days they tell you to. But me, myself, I don't like to be confined by rules and regulations. And that's a very Aquarian energy. So I digress with myself, just letting you know that, I'm not doing, if you send me an email through my website or you book a reading through my website that you want to have a reading, please don't. But you can definitely send me an email, a text, direct messenger through Instagram, through my Foxy Moon _ Spiritual Alchemist, and we'll talk from there. Okay. So now, the other thing that I wanted to discuss was some celestial alignments that have been taking place. I've come to understand that there was a G6 class, I think, solar storm that happened over the weekend, happened Monday. So some people might have had technological glitches and issues. Some people even may have had physical things going on, and I did, and I didn't. And we were also in a new moon. I think we were in a new moon in Capricorn. While now there's like 5 planet alignments that are all going to be pivoting into Aquarius. Sun is in Aquarius. I think we're having a moon in Aquarius. Pluto's been in Aquarius. Neptune is leaving and going into Aries. What else is there? Mercury is going into, Venus is going into Aquarius. So these planets will be sitting around. Pluto's sitting around for a while. Neptune is definitely sitting around for a while, but like Mercury and Venus, those planets kind of move a little, the energy moves a little quickly. It's not like it sits there for months at a time. So Aquarius, I will read out of my Foxy book that I had designed just for me according to my birth chart, and knowing what time I was born, where I was born. I think it was like, I don't know, I think this book was like $75. I can't remember. I did it like a year or two ago. It's really cool because it breaks down where your planets are, which I knew already, but like when we're talking about planetary alignments, it breaks down that. It breaks down crystals, just a few things that you can add that you want on there. And I have no affiliation with these people. It's called the Nord Astro. You can go online and look them up. Nord, NORDASTRO. And if you have the bucks, go ahead and do it. It's cool. So let me just read what's Aquarius, so we can have an idea, because honestly, that's one of my favorite 5 signs in the zodiac is Aquarius. And not so much because that's my rising sign, but I like the energy. I like that it's an air sign, it's a fixed sign. So when it gets hooked on something, it goes with it moves with it. And then when it gets tired of it, it's like And I think that's what it is. Like I was just like I was saying about myself and having this conversation with my son a couple of days ago. He's like, Mom, get back on there and get do this live and get us the information. Like you know so much. And I'm just like, yeah, but like I've been doing this already almost 5 years in that world, and Aquarian is technology. So it's like, what else is there out there? Aquarius is always seeking, right? They're always looking for that knowledge. That's the nature of Aquarian, and technology. So it's like, okay, well, I told y'all about the crystals. I tell you about the signs. I tell you about, maybe some political things, right? What else is there? I do talk about health. So it's like, once you do that, it's like, what else do you talk about? I'm not a gossipy person, so I'm not going to talk about, I may bring up things like maybe, like what happened with Puffy, and, but I tie it back into like on a more spiritual level. But, I'm just like, I don't have the gumption, and that's Aquarius. They, if they are feeling that they're tired of the thing that they've been doing and it's monotonous, because it's an air sign. So you got to remember, it doesn't like routine. It doesn't like authority. It doesn't like being told you have to sit here from 9 to 5, you know? So it's like, what else can I do to feed that hunger, that always wanting to know and learn? Aquarius is ruled by Pluto, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, it's ruled by Uranus. But Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and Pluto has to do with deconstructing. It's a planet of reinventing. It's a planet that will knock everything down so you can rebuild again. It's a planet about lessons learned. It's a hard placement to be in. So it's in the sign of Aquarius right now. So if you're not liking the way the establishment is going right now, and being that we are in Pluto, which will sit for, I think, another, don't quote me on this, please, 30 years. Don't quote me on it though. There's like a long longevity of every time these planets change, and they changes to the sign. But so let's Aquarius is January 20th, or I think, if it's like a leap year, it'll be the 19th, I think. But don't quote me on that. So Aquarian is January 20th through February 18th. And Aquarians are intellectual and analytical. So that's that thinking. If Pluto's telling me I have to deal with this and I got to stick with this, well, how can I make it better? How can I make it conducive for me to get into, right? With a natural interest in technology and the sciences. And my endeavor has to do with sciences. So that's why I'm like, spirituality is great, because we're about to leave Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune is the planet of spirituality, awakening. It's about illusions. It's about disillusions. It's very Piscean, where things are just, what was making sense once before, or what wasn't making sense once before, is about to make sense for people. And it's going into the sign. Neptune's going to be going into the sign of Aries in the next couple of days, if it hasn't already. So, and it'll sit there for a long time as well. And when I say long, I mean like over 10 years long. I think it shifts again. Yeah, maybe 10 years, 2020, 2030, or please. I don't know these exact. That's why I'm like, I'm not a astrologer, disclaimer. Okay. So However, their focus on the collective can sometimes make them seem detached on a personal level. Again, just to, I guess this is like divine timing in a sense, because it's like, let me come on and just kind of give you a little bit of what's just going on with me. And that's what it is. That's really what it is. It's the detachment. I realize now, listening to two astrologers, that there's going to be like 5 planets sitting in Aquarius. So within the next 2 weeks, we're going to have this energy that's going to be just really intense. It's going to you're going to want to, if you don't like to be told what to do, most people don't like to be told what to do, but if you have a problem with authority, if you've always been a person that got into trouble in grade school, or got into trouble with your parents, or you were always like in and out of juvie, you were always not, I'm not laughing at you all, Chuck, because I'm talking about myself. I wasn't in juvie, but I definitely was in detention a lot. I always questioned any adult that, if it didn't sound right to my ear, I questioned them. And some of them were just like, all right, like, kid, like, shut the F up already. Like, and it wasn't being a know-it-all. It was just like, my mind was just so sharp and thinking like, no, that's not really making sense, especially religion. I question a lot of that. So if you were a person like that, or if you were a person that, couldn't really keep a job, or do the 8 to 4, or the, graveyard shift, or the 9 to 5, that's Aquarian energy. That, and it's not laziness. It's, I don't want to be boxed in. I don't like to be boxed in. This isn't doing it for me, So while Pluto, is an Aquarius, some people, and Neptune was sitting in Aquarius just not too long ago. So it felt good. It felt like, things were like, oh, I think it was like 10 years. I think it's every 10-year shift, right? But again, don't quote me on it. So, some things were, we kind of, collectively, we took shit on face value, and we didn't question it really. We just let it slide for what it was, or what it is. But now that the changing of the guards are happening, we're like, I don't know. And I honestly will not be surprised if there will be a lot of people dropping down from those type of social media platforms, i.e. TikTok, i.e. YouTube, i.e. Instagram. If they cut your Instagrams, whatever. It's just what it is, And so what is your backup? I know that people are so excited that they can sit at home and collect checks, because the newer generation, who wouldn't want that? I'm coming from a generation, and generations before me, that you had to go out there and bust your ass, and you had to get a job. You had to hustle to get this job. And I'm not talking about hustle the corner. I'm talking about go out there and get this 9 to 5, get this 8 to 4, get this 7 to 3, get that midnight shift. You got to go out there and you got to do this. Okay. So now, again, like I said, we're in Aquarian energy. Let's continue about what's Aquarian energy like. They're forward thinking and altruistic nature, making them excellent problem solvers and reformers. Well, that's what I'm going through, is a reform. I'm a problem solver. So I had to figure out what's going to work for me, right? And what works for my family. And social media is just not in the scope. No matter who keeps telling me I should sign up with TikTok, I'm like, I just don't. Because it's like, sometimes I'm a dog with a bone. That's hard to let things go, and that's not such a good thing all the time. That's my Taurian trait. That's my Leo trait. That's my Cancer trait. Because Aquarius, they don't really. It's like, okay, they'll hold on to stuff, but the other signs I just mentioned, they very are like, they hold on to shit, and that's not always necessarily a good thing, right? So we have to, like, move forward with the grain of what's going on the collective, as well as what's going on within our own selves, within our family, right? And so you got to figure some shit out. Aquarius is synonymous with innovation, individuality, and humanitarianism, known for their forward thinking, vision, and eccentricity. Those born under the Aquarius sun sign navigate life with a unique perspective and a deep desire to improve the world around them. Now, it says best compatible is Gemini, Libra, Aries, Sagittarius. Um, excuse me, possibly. Possibly, what else? They represent the waves of water or electricity. It signifies Aquarius' connection to innovation, energy, and collective consciousness. So, yes, while I would love to be on the collective consciousness, I still have to regroup and think about stuff for myself, right? Regroup and think what's good for my family. Let's see what else is here. And again, I'm reading out of my book that was created for me, but they also have all the signs in here. Not only just tells me what my placements mean, but it's cool because it tells you like health and diet, love, relationships, how others see Aquariuses or other signs, right? Career and finance. So let's see what career and finances are for Aquarius, shall we? Aquarians are innovative and eccentric, often drawn to careers in technology, science, and social reform, where they can work on the cutting edge. Financially, they tend to have a futuristic view, investing in new technology or concepts before they become mainstream. Aquarians should, however, ensure that they have a solid foundation to fall back on in case some of their more avant-garde investments take time to pay off. And that's what I'm saying. So while we're here, not just any sun sign Aquarius, but wherever Aquarius sits in your chart, specifically if it's in your first house, if it's your rising, your moon, could be your, what else has to do with work? Could be your Mars, because that's passion. You have to have something to fall back on. Some people don't like to hear that. If you are somebody who's like a Virgo or a Pisces who's artistic and you're like, oh, I'm just going to solely... Hold on, guys. My children. So if you are somebody who, excuse me, it's just like artsy and you think, this rap game is going to take off. I'm going to be the next rapper, or I'm going to be the next Vincent Van Gogh, or I'm going to, create. I mean, that's great. It's because those are your passions. That's something what you feel inside designed to do. Will it sell like the Google? Like, will it be able to sell? Right? Who are you marketing this towards? And think you got to have a fallback. So what other thing could you do that is going to pay the bills at the end of the day, right? So Aquarian, while it's in between Capricorn and Pisces is the dreamer. Pisces does have that artistic view of things as well. And Capricorn is an earth sign and it's about getting money. Pisces is the water sign, right? So Aquarian is kind of like in this peculiar spot because it's like, I gotta, and it's only got a short amount of time to, Capricorn takes up most of the month, and then you got Pisces that takes up the rest of February. And so poor Aquarius is kind of like sitting here like, well, okay. Now we also have all these other signs that are sitting in Aquarius as well, and people are going to be reinventing themselves. They're going to be thinking about what other means of money. Maybe my son is putting this into fruition with his Taurus self, that he's like, Mom, look into TikTok, because that's where you can go in another avenue and generate. And I'm just like, because that we're dealing with technology now. Aquarius health and diet. Aquarians should pay particular attention to their ankles and circulatory system, engaging in exercises that promote cardiovascular health and straightening their lower limbs, such as swimming or cycling is great. A diet rich in omega fatty acids, antioxidants, and foods that support the blood circulation can contribute to overall well-being. Aquarians also benefit from regular social interaction and mental stimulation to maintain their mental health. This is where my Aquarian energy is like, it's drips and drabs. Like, I could talk to somebody for 5 hours. That's one day and I'm done. I've sat up here with you guys sometimes 5 hours. I've done 10 hours once. Excuse me, I got my incense going and it's messing up my throat. I'm not doing that again like that. This is why I would need like 3 days before I can come back online again, because it takes, it takes energy for people to engage, right, with each other. If you're on social media a lot, like, you can get burnt out. And I just don't want to be. I want to have a happy medium, and people will find this out. They will, while we're in this Aquarian energy, they're going to see that they're going to, like I said, they could fall back from social media a lot more, or talking to people a lot. Or maybe the opposite, wanting to talk more, but it's mental stimulation. Like, I promise you, I do not want to have a hello, how you doing conversation, and that's that. Like, no, we're going to talk about everything. We're talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the spirits, religion, politics, because we're going to talk all that. And then we could talk about music. I want to talk about all of that. I don't want to just surface level, how you doing? Are you good? What's good? And then when you're really talking to them and you're like, what's good? And then they're just like so shallow. And it's like, no, I don't want to talk. So to me, that's how just social media, to me, that's how I feel with social media. It's like, I don't want to always come on every day. Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to sit up here and, because I've done that. I've done that. I've been there, done that. Go on to a new horizon. You don't need to be, like I said, unless you're like really getting that money from these companies to sit home and talk about everything and anything under the sun, go for it. I'm not knocking that hustle at all. But me, myself, even readers, like, I see readers that I've been following for like almost 10 years now. And they're still hard at it, hard at the paint with this. Some have fallen off, some have went back to religion, some have saw their error of their ways. They're like, I'm not doing the cards no more. And I get that too, because I'm like, I'm not with that. For me, I'm not like, the cards are demonic, and it's just like, if we're not doing the readings like that, I don't really, it's something I started with to help people. But my background has always been humanitarian. My background has always been helping people, working in the health field. So I've always been giving. I've always been there. I've always been helping in different avenues. And I kind of want to go back into that. I want to go back to that type of um first of all, because also it also pays the bills. Like, let's be very clear. You need something substantial. Like, if you're not a spiritual advisor doing the cars or whatever, a root worker, and you're not doing that every day, like, you don't got to shop and that's not what you're doing, then you got to find something else that's going to pay the bills, keep things afloat. Like I said, I got one that's about to get married. I got another one with college. Those are very big expenses. Like, I'm not pumping and cranking out cars like that every day, and I just don't have the spiritual wherewithal for that. I have the physical stamina. That's why I'm more like, I could physically do stuff, but mentally and spiritually, that's very tiring. It's very taxing. It takes a lot out of you because you got to channel something. Okay. Unless you're a fake and you just, doing shit for shits and giggles. But, it's just for me, it's mental work and spiritual work is just as hard as physical labor. Somebody that's always carrying something heavy or, delivering package. It's that type of, because you're using mental muscle, right? So it's really hard, and you need to take a break. You got to relax your mind. You got to, because listen, your mental health is important as well as your physical health. And your mind, think of somebody who's like in a coma. Their mind is still, there's pulsating still going on in the brain. Yes. So it sends the signals down to the rest of the body. Now, if that goes, then that's it. You clinically dead, right? Because it has to pump to the heart. It's got to connect. So if this is not in tune with that world, my body is not feeling it. So we're gonna sit back and we're chilling. We're watching TV. We're reading. We're engaging in other things. We're doing other things than that, right? So. And you guys know this. You guys have always known this. I've always made it very clear. Like, I have my hiatuses. People, especially with the deaths in my family, I've definitely taken hiatuses. But I try not to stay away too long because I know that there are quite a few people that do look for me, that are looking for that knowledge, looking for it. Brother Maybach's in the building. Salute, Brother Maybach. My StreamYard, I don't have this StreamYard up and running right now, so I can't put people up, and that bothers me because I really want to talk to people. Yeah, if you're not in it and your heart's not in it, don't do this shit. Don't do it. Big's in the building. Salute. Big gas man. Wagwan. Wagwan. What's up, Witchy? Just chilling, explaining, my little bouts of hiatusness. I don't want, like I said, some people really do look for me to come on lives, and they appreciate the information that I give them. Like I said, it's just sometimes I don't have no information. I'm not a person who bumps their gums every day, so I don't want to talk. Like, I have nothing to say. If I don't have nothing smart or intelligent to say, and I can't prove to you what I'm talking about, I'm going to shut up. A lot of people want, and see, this is what's going to happen with this Aquarian energy, is it could be the reverse. It could have some of us withdraw and just chill and get our minds right. Or it could have a lot others going through this. I got to be up front and center. I got to bump my gums. I got to talk about everything. I want to say everything. I want to be on every social media platform that I can. Because that's Aquarius. Aquarius rules technology. So, there'll be an influx of this energy. And once we get out of Aquarian energy, things are going to be moving into Aries energy. meaning the planets are shifting into Aries. Not so much that Aries is next. Big Philly, what's good? You're off OGs? Okay. You doing double duty? But you're my moderator. I need you. Brother Maybach, you my moderator. I've been winging it for like 20 minutes by myself. You know knowledge. You're knowledgeable. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, another thing is you don't want to come off cocky. Because I'm telling you, I'm Mike Tyson up in this piece. He's a Cancer. I'm Mike Tyson. I have to put some uppercuts in here because dudes want to challenge me. I'm like, why are you challenging me? I'm a woman. But they tested my knowledge, right? Just like me and my son had a sparring. I guess because I have a lot of masculine energy in me, so it comes off very I had somebody tell me a couple of months back, "Oh, you don't know how to talk to men." I'm like, what? What? Though he about to send me into a tizzy, y'all. I love him dearly. But I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for you, and it may not sound right. I am rough around the edges. I'm not the mom. You could talk to my son, and y'all see my son up here. My youngest is like, I really don't like talking to you about girl things because you think like a man. It's just just be a girl sometimes. And I'm like, but I am a girl. She's like, no, Mom, you are such. Again, grew up that way. I was a tomboy most of my life. So, again, with this energy, we're moving into, that energy is going to be going into Aries, and that's aggressive. Aries is about dominance. It's a fire sign. It could be God of War energy. You see what's going on politically. You see how this man is about to take shit up a notch with us. Thanks, Brother Maybach. You're a Leo, so you get it. Yeah. And I got a lot of Leo placements, Big Gas. I think that's what it is. Most of my chart, I was just reading out of this book, which I had designed for myself. And I am fire, fixed, masculine energy. Fire is all masculine. So it's my Leo, I got Leo Venus, Leo Mercury. So how I communicate is it is aggressive. I can't help it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean? It may not sound nice. I can't sweet coat it for you because how else will you get it through your head? You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to come out and keep it real with people. And I think that I challenge, some men folk that is just if they're not, how can I say this? If they're not in tune with their feminine energy, right? And I'm coming off on a masculine, but being a woman, it minimizes them. And I think that's where they want to come challenge me because they're like, well, I'm a man, but the way you're coming at me is like a female, right? Because what do females do? No disrespect to the females, but they always want to pop off on somebody, right? They'll keep arguing, they'll keep debating, I don't do that. I don't do that with nobody in my house. I say something one time and then I walk away. My absence speaks louder. So my family will come and be like, so you okay? We're good? Yeah, but you do understand what I just said, right? And then they'll be like, you know what, you were, but I didn't want to hear it. And I'm like, I'm never going to say, I told you so. I don't really like saying that. But it's I see shit differently. I'm also in tuned in that spiritual world. So I see shit a little differently. So when I say something, it's coming out of pure love. It may sound wrong. It may sound hateful. Not hateful. It may sound harsh. But it's all out of love. Because at the end of the day, we still going to kick it. But you say something sideways to me, you keep playing me, you keep throwing indirect little darts at me and saying slick shit. That's some feminine shit, and I'm not fucking with you. I'll keep you at arm's length, because now I know my presence bothers you in some ways. Mike Tyson, it's like sparring. So again, we're going to be moving into that Aries energy. So, shit's going to get turned up even more. If we didn't think it was turned up now, it's about to get right. So, for me, my only little advice in quotes is just, keep your nose to the ground. This isn't the time to pop off and get riled up with this and with them, the energy that they're giving us, because this is not our fight. I'm gonna show you what our fight is, and this is Black Engines. Okay, I was just, like I said before I came on live, me and my son was talking, and he was kind of like nudging me to go live, because he's like, Mom, like, I need to hear that. Like, I talk to him. This is how I talk every day to my family. My husband's like, can you bring it down a notch? Like, Afeni Shakur, Malcolm X, can you just, because you always on it. And I'm like, I can't help it. Like, my mind, you can't have small talk with an Aquarian rising type energy. Like, that's all cerebral, right? Or any air sign, Libras, right? Brother Maybach. Salute to Jordan, Supreme Goddess. Salute, right? Thank you, Maybach. Yes, please hit this like button and share this live out, because it's like the lives will be coming far and few. Especially while we're in this Aquarian energy. It's going to be trickling. Like, I'll give you the cards later on. I know I didn't do the cards for the beginning of the week, and some people look forward to that spiritual message. But I just wanted to tell you, what was going on. I'm just kind of chill, reserving my energy. Because we've been having celestial alignments too. Like I said, we had so we had the G class, what was it? G class 6 solar flares over the weekend. So I didn't even know. I thought it was something that I ate. My stomach is messed up. My head, I'm starting to get a headache. Then I read up that we were having a solar flare attack. And I'm like, well, that would explain the nausea. That would explain the headache. That would explain the vivid dreams. Like, I thought something was going on. I thought I was having food poisoning. But they said, no, there's a solar flare that was happening. On top of now this polar vortex that pretty much the whole U.S. is going to be getting, right? I know us Northerners, me and Maybach, we're going to get hit with some snow again, because it snowed this past weekend. And down south is going to be hit, Atlanta and stuff. They're talking about 3 inches of ice. Now, parts of down south cannot operate the way a New York City could, not a way a Boston, Massachusetts could. They when they get hit with that type of weather, that shuts everything down. So it's going to go from Texas all the way up to the Carolinas, Georgia. We saw that Florida was getting hit with snow. And yeah, we could be like, this is man-made and whoop-de-whoop. It is, but it isn't. All right. If you know, you know. So get prepared, be prepared. There's no fear mongering here. It's just like, while we got our nose to the ground and stuff, we also need to be keeping our feelers up, watching what we're eating, because all this stuff also plays with our mental. If we're eating a lot of heavy foods and stuff, we can't be sharp. Our brain is not sharp. What do you want to do after you eat? Go to sleep, right? So if you're always constantly feeding yourself that type of food, you're not going to be sharp out here in these streets. And that's what the powers that shouldn't be want you to do. They want you to be deaf, dumb, and blind. They want you to keep being on social media. They want you to be entertained while they running around doing all this dumb shit. They, honestly, me, myself, I haven't seen the icy coolers out here like that. But, that's not to say that they can't. But, New York State and New York City is a different beast. And while, they were doing that earlier, like in the summertime, I'm not going to walk around in fear. That's one thing. I'm not going to do is let these people fear me into, oh my God, it's the end of the world, yada, yada, yada. Like, no, we're not doing that. But be vigilant, like Brother Maybach says. Stay militant, because there is shit that's happening, right? And some of us don't have the luxury to perform and be on social media and be a minstrel. Some of us really have real shit that we got to take care of, provide that, whatever's going on out there, we can't really let it affect us too much until it really affects us. So while there's a storm and stuff that's coming through, we need to be prepared for that. So the people in the South, specifically in the States, get prepared now, because even if it doesn't happen, at least you're prepared. Then you get caught out there and you're like, oh my God, now I got, my power went out, right? Because what somebody was explaining was, if there's like 3 inches of ice that hits the ground, it hits the power. They were saying that that's what happened with Texas, and why they didn't have certain parts in Texas didn't have gas or electricity for almost a month. I remember that because it was like Texas got snow. I think that was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, or 2022. It wasn't that far back. And yeah, we like Texas. Texas was asked out. Certain parts of Texas was asked out for like a month with their electricity. Now, can you imagine somebody who's always got to be on top of social media? What you gonna do now? No, this is why you got to find something else in the backdrop, because you don't know when shit's about to hit the fan, and you shouldn't completely solely rely on social media paying for your bills, because you never know. Right? You just never know. So don't let that be your only source of income. I was watching this young lady earlier, and she's a content creator, and she was saying how she get $50,000 a month or something, or a week, something to that. And she has said that she was a woman that was always kind of pretty much like on social, welfare and things of that nature. Food stamps, and she said now she's getting money by doing content creating. And I was like, okay. So I was like, well, maybe I'll set up an account for YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, for Instagram. What is that? TikTok. But then I was just like, nah, because she's about to get spooky. And you need something substantial to hold shit down. Because if, like I said, if you're in an area where you don't get electricity, there's some storm that happens, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like how can you then? I don't know. This is that Aquarian energy where you're thinking outside the box. Aquariuses don't like to be in the box. They are air signs. They are about technology. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to do something, revamp shit up, right? So, that energy is going to, this is going to be the pentacle. This right now, the planets that are sitting in Aquarius energy, this is the portal that is going to set us in a new direction of, you a content creator, no disrespect, because I guess I'm a content creator, right? To the ones that are shaking and moving and getting shit done on grassroots energy, grassroots, getting shit done on the ground. We're not in the internet world, right? And that's how it's going to be set up for the next, I think, again, don't quote me on the years, but I want to say like next 10, 20, 30 years. It's going to be deep. So to set yourself up now so you don't have to get yourself caught lacking. All right. What else? Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the solar things that we got hit with, that solar flare. And then, I mean, I don't really know too much other than what's going on with this Venezuelan, the capture of the president. Biff is out here collecting presidents like Pokemon. He told Cuba, you next if you don't get right. I was like, ooh, this is gangster right now. Like, what are you doing, man? I really think he thinks he's really the Don. But Donald Jonathan Trump is losing his mind out here. He's a Gemini, he's an air sign, so he is out to lunch right now. He is checked out. And he's playing Russian roulette with the rest of us, so, and not everybody, because there's people that are sovereign, so they don't operate the way we do, that are on, the chattel, being chattel slaves here, working for the corporation. I'm still on the corporation sign, trust me. So yeah, he's fucking it up, fucking the corporation up. He's doing that Eddie Murphy skit where he was being Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was being James Brown, not James Brown. What's this dude's name? Anyway, it was about Eddie Murphy and that skit where he's Dave Chappelle's banging his feet on the couch like, fuck you niggas, fuck you niggas. They should have never gave y'all niggas money. And I'm just like, this is what's going on. Like, yeah, while I mean there is a drug problem and stuff, but it's like, you guys have been funneling this for the long time now. Don't start capturing these presidents, trying to set a stage, because you all been doing this for the longest. ATV's in the building. Salute. Thank you. Don't forget to hit this like button. Share this live out. So, yeah, he's definitely out here catching them all, trying to collect them all. And then, so again, how does that affect us so much? I don't know. But if people want to start attacking, that could be a problem. Some of us are not prepared for what happened 100, 200 years ago, right? Some of you all are not ready for that kind of civil war, and it's not even going to be so much with them. It might just be with us, amongst each other, the haves and the have-nots. That's what I'm saying. This energy, the way it's looking, is going to set the stage, because you'll have people that will be like, yeah, I'm getting money from, let's say I'm getting money from not Instagram. I'm getting money from what's that? TikTok. And you may look at them like, but that's not real money. I work 9 to 5. I get this check. I work hard for my money. You just come up on, on the screen and you perform, right? To some, they'll look at that like, you ain't got real money. That's monopoly money. Others will be like, why are you working for the man when you still working for the man if you doing content creation? Where do you think that money's coming from? Who do you think is generating that for you? The invisible sky daddy in the clouds? That's all the same shit. Read the book Propaganda. They own all the media. They just allow us peasants up here to think that we, you know what I mean? But when they start plugging people out from the internet and stuff and putting them on timeout and stuff, oh, you're going to create another account. I don't have time for all that shit. They cut my one account. That was that. I created a new one because I have family members on here. But if that keeps happening, I'm just, okay. Now what do? We'll find something else to do. Right? So it behooves me that they think that it's a separate entity, that, you're online and you're doing something, but, you trying to get a 9 to 5 is not, well, you're working for the man, you're on the plantation. You're still on the plantation. All right, you in the digital plantation, because you always have to perform. At least I can take a break, right? You always got to come on and perform some kind of content, because that's how you get your check. So some of you will be coming on twice a day, twice a week, 5 times a week. I still have my weekends off. I don't got to perform then. I got a pension. They decide your content is a little too much and it goes against the guidelines. That's why people have to do dumb shit, talk ignorant, because they'll pay you. But the minute you start talking about Black Indians, the minute you start talking about sovereignty, the minute you start talking about some real shit, they want to start pulling you stuff away. You know, telling you to CMOS cures. They start plugging that shit. They start plucking you right from that. So technically, you don't have freedom of speech. They gave you the illusion that you do have freedom of speech. And that's what technology is. It's the illusion. It's the innovation of things. So that's why, thank goodness, we're coming out of Neptune, and Neptune will be going into Aries, because it's going to be putting some reality back in check. Some people need a reality check. Instead of living in La La Land and thinking that they can float around town like shit ain't nothing happening. You know, my children, I guess they would be millennial children, or a millennial and a Z generation, where all the stuff that my boomers and the silent generation showed and taught me, I'm instilling that in them. And that's what they've done. They've grind, and they're continue to grind, and they'll get their education, but they also know that some of the education may be obsolete, so they got to go into vocation. But don't ever think that you can get up here and get your little check from this, and then that's that. Because the minute you go left, they pull the plug on you. Just like Neo in the Matrix. They pull the plug on you. Now you facing reality. You sitting up here eating gruel, while in the Matrix, you eating filet mignon. You see the lady with the red dress on. So, Aquarian energy. It's going to have us see things differently. And then when Aries comes in, bam. What you gonna do with love? So let's wrap it up. I heard that brother OG is on his channel right now. I might pop through, because I haven't been on anybody's platform really like that. I'm just chilling. I don't need to be it just, I don't have the or I'm missing when people are live. So that's the other thing. Let's read really quickly also what the air sign. So that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, but it's a fixed sign. So when we're talking about modalities, we got cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So each zodiac is clumped in together by their elements. So air, water, fire, right, and earth. So we just came out of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, but Capricorn is the cardinal of the earth signs. So they're the leaders of that group. Air signs, Libra is the cardinal of that sign. So they are the leaders. Aquariuses are the fixed signs. And then Gemini is the mutable, meaning that their energy pretty much sways differently. It can go with the flow of the cardinal getting shit done, or it can sit back like the fixed energy and let me think about this. And Aquarius is a fixed sign. So it has to think about things first, even though it's an air sign, but the way it moves is differently from a Gemini and a Libra. That's why I like the Aquarius signs. I like the Libras too. Libras is another one of my top favorite. So is a Leo, Taurus, and Pisces. Pisces is my number one. You guys are always my number ones, you little fishies. Can't stand y'all asses, but I love you at the same time. Pisces are pretty much the only ones that get it. I love Pisces. I love Pisces because they get it. But anyway, so Aquarian has that fixed energy. So they're going to, while, they'll go in the crowd and they'll hang out and they'll, chill with the people and stuff and talk and, have these intellectual conversations. They come back out of that and you'll be like, what happened to Aquarius? Like, wait, then I was just having this nice little stimulating conversation. Why did Aquarius it looks like Aquarius just ghosted you. That's just them. Because if it's not really like, once I done spent 5 hours talking to you, what else do I got to talk to you about? You know what I mean? Like, date's over. But they are like a Libra and a Scorpio. Especially the men folk are out there, word on the street, but they got to have a good match to keep them down, really. Because they like to be out there swimming and moving with the next thing. And they'll be like, I get it, Aquarius. I get it. So the air signs are articulate, they're commutative, and they're social. They thrive on ideas, information, and interaction. Air signs are known for their curiosity, their adaptability, and analytical skills because they're cerebral. They're all in the head. Everything is airhead with them. They like to have a good conversation. They like to have somebody that mentally stimulates them. Because like I said just a little while ago, if you go brain dead, nothing else can happen with the rest of the body. So if you can't mentally stimulate me, because physical is all good. Yeah, I could, we could all bust a nut and feel good about it, right? But if you can't mentally stimulate me, sapiosexually me in my head, where I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna start stripping now because whatever they were saying was talking real good. If that person's not doing that for you, air signs will be like, I'm out. Now, that's just the sun signs, right? Because we all know that we're not, we're not just our sun signs. We're our moon signs. That's the emotions, right? We are we have our rising sign, which is the persona that we give out to everybody, which is Aquarius for me. So that's why it may look like, well, what happened to Foxy? Like, why didn't she come online? Where's she been at? That's because that's my Aquarius. Like, listen, you sit back, you relax. When it's time for you to come on, you'll know when to come on, right? What else? So they're analytical, often seeking to understand and connect with the world through thoughts and communication. That's the air signs. So yeah, they want to have these stimulating conversations. They want to be stimulated in that way. Which then also be like, ooh, I love the way that person thinks. Like, you would want to be with them then, right? If somebody doesn't have the wherewithal to keep talking to you, like if all they can talk about is like sports or rap or, gossip, you're like, okay, what else is next, right? But if they could talk about that and other things, listen. Now, modalities, right? So I was mentioning about the cardinal signs, the fixed signs, and the mutable signs. So Aquarius is a fixed sign, like Taurus, like Leo, and like a Scorpio. These are all the signs, but Taurus is an earth sign, Leo is a fire sign, Scorpio is a water sign. So like I said, each element has their own modalities. So the air signs are stabilizers, focusing on persistence, reliability, and depth. These signs are known for their determination, resistance to change, and ability to see projections through compilation. So the fixed signs can really get in the nitty gritty things, especially an Aquarius. Like, you could definitely mind fuck somebody, no pun intended. You definitely could know how to manipulate somebody with them. You are like Dr. Xavier from the from the X-Men. I wouldn't be surprised if Xavier is an Aquarius, because he's very cerebral, but he's calculated. He knows when to use his energy. And that's giving me all Aquarian signs. Like, they're calculated, they because that's fixed energy. So a cardinal sign, which is Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, and Aries, while they'll like push through things, they might not even, they'll see the gold of things, but they may not finish it. Right? And I say may. The fixed sign will come in and finish the job. That's that Taurus. They get the muscles, they get their hands dirty, right? Cancers, Libras, Aries. Aries will get the job done. Cancers will get the job done. Libras, they do, but they're an air sign. So Libras gives me more fixed energy, if anything. I don't know why they would be cardinal signs, because, well, cardinals can be stubborn too. Cancers are stubborn. Tauruses are very stubborn. Like, really? But it all depends also where your moon is, where your Venus is, and all that. It's not just your sun sign. But I just wanted to give those little tidbits to us so we can understand a little bit better when we're dealing with these signs and things like that. Because people are just surface. Cancer is this, and Aquarius is that. Then it's like, yeah, but what else is? I know you don't know what their complete natal chart is, but you don't know what else they got going on in their chart, and you don't know how their upbringing was. So to judge somebody just basically solely off of their zodiac sign, it's cool. It's surface level, but the Aquarians will go in and be like, I want to know what time you were born. Let me know what time you were born. Now, trust me, I ain't using this against you. I just need to know some things before I put my energy in. Aquarius is not giving their energy up like that. Trust me. They're not giving their energy up like that. And once they know that their energy is being ciphered, it's a wrap. So they want to know, because it's chess, not checkers. They got to know how they're moving strategically through things, right? The art of war. We got to know some things here. Leo's a fixed sign. I think Brother Gasman was saying it. Based off of perception. Oh, he's a Cancer. Well, because that's psychic. So, but he moves like, well, Aquarius it can be like that too. But thank you for that, Brother Maybach. I mean, Brother ATV. So he's a Cancer sign. Now, Cancers are the psychic of the zodiac, so it would make sense that they would put him as the psychic. But he's strategic, and that's kind of like an Aquarius. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's predatorial, but it's strategic. It's like, I gotta plot and plan how I'm gonna do this. Kind of like Gemini, they plot and plan shit, right? So that's why he gives me air energy. But okay, so he's a Cancer. Well, I'm a Cancer too. July 19th. That's why I resonate. I always tell people I'm Professor X, because I see shit. I could talk to you, telecommunication, telepathic. But yeah, it's good to know if you know what your time of day you were born on your birth certificate. Some birth certificates don't have those anymore, but grandma may have your time written down in the Bible somewhere. Look it up. look it up on the go. You could go online and look up how do you break down your natal chart for free, and it gives you a little better understanding about yourself. Because while you could be like, oh, I'm a Leo. Oh, it's Wally. Wally's in the building. Okay, Wally. I thought it looked your little thing looked familiar, but then I was like, all right, cool. Thanks, Wally. It's cool to know what other, like, so say for instance, I'm gonna break down my chart real quickly, right? I'm a Sun Cancer, a rising Aquarius, a Moon Taurus, a Venus Leo, a Mercury Leo, and a Mars Virgo. So most of my chart is fixed fire, masculine energy, right? I said that earlier. But when you start to ponder on certain things, like if your moon sign is a Taurus, like I said, my moon sign is a Taurus. So that's your emotions. That's your private, your private side that the world doesn't get to see. So a Taurus moon is emotion. It's ruled, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So that has to do with emotions. A moon Taurus is an emotional person. However, my fire energy balances out that fixed earth sign. And it tells that earth sign, hey, you know what? Chill out. We'll handle this. My Aquarian energy will now strategize how I'm going to handle my emotions. I'm not going to flip tables and wig out on you. I'm going to show you a different way of me getting upset, right? Now, if you were a moon Pisces or a moon Cancer, because those are emotional water signs, yeah, you might scream at somebody. You might be always like, and it's like, well, this person's very emotional. Calm down, right? And then your Venus has to do with love, has to do with love for self, love with others, money, right? So that is in the sign of Leo for me. So it's a fixed sign. So it's like, okay, the way Leos communicate can be a little rough around the edges and say a little, something that might hurt somebody if they don't have thick skin. But we're gonna love you big, like it's that tough love. We're gonna give you that tough love, but at the same time, this is all coming from love. And when you're hurt, guess what? I'm the first person that's gonna be to hug you and give you a kiss and tell you it's all right. So that's how that my Venus in Leo is. So it's a little like I'm gonna choose and pick who I'm gonna give this love to. But you ain't gonna see me sweat. Like I ain't gonna sweat you. You gonna be like, why isn't she giving me this attention? Like, what's wrong? Am I the problem? And it's like, no, she's chilling. She's chilling. So it's good to know what other aspects in your chart you have. So you just know why certain, and then it plays into what the moon is. Like if we just had a moon in Capricorn, the new moon in Capricorn that just happened, which was in an earth sign, we felt a little good because that earth energy gives us the feel goods, right? So it wasn't too like, ooh. But if you get if you get like a water sign that's in the moon, I don't know what the next moon is. We have a full moon coming up. I don't know what the full moon is then. All of us will be affected by it. Doesn't matter if you are a Leo. It doesn't matter if you're Sagittarius, if you're a Libra, Cancer, Aquarius. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel what that moon energy is giving to you. Again, we have some big planets right now that are going into transition, and they're going into Aquarius. We got Pluto is in Aquarius. Venus is going into Aquarius. I believe Mercury is going into Aquarius. Don't count me on that one. Neptune just switched out of Was it Aquarius or was it Pisces? It was Pisces. Is going into Aries. So for the next, the sun is in Aquarius right now. So people will feel the effects of Aquarius, even if you don't have Aquarius in your chart or you just have Aquarius one placement in your chart. The collective is going to feel there may be more technology booms happening. There may be more innovative things happening. So it's not like we got to look at the plus and the negatives of that of this energy. So some of us may be getting money on social media. I'm not trying to like cut nobody's dollars off. I'm just saying, like, understand that this is um a machine that's being run by certain people that you got to know how to wheel and deal with them, right? So that it sets you up for something else. It sets you up for something greater. Hopefully nothing falls to the wayside, or this Aquarian energy can pull you back and have you rethink, do I really want to be on do a content thing? Do I really want to be in that type of arena, or do I want to be on the backdrop of the innovation and doing something else, right? It still could be with technology, just doesn't necessarily have to be about content creating. Maybe you could be like so-called content creating on the back scene, like helping others in, because Aquarian energy is humanitarianism. So they're going to be helping the collective out. They're going to be helping the people out. So maybe you are just starting your content and there'll be people that could be helping you out, right? Or vice versa. Maybe you're taking a step back and helping people behind the scenes doing things, right? So it could work either way. Or you just are like, yo, I'm done with this toodles. I'm done with the whole thing. I'm shifting something so far left, because that's Aquarian. I'm gonna go so far left with this shit that it was like, well, I thought weren't they just doing that? Like, weren't they just doing cars? Now they, doing teas. Like, that's how different yin and yang, night and day it could be with this Aquarian energy. So it's a good thing. That's why I really like this. That's why I like Aquarian energy, period, because it's not in your face. They don't like to be in your face. It is peculiar, but there's some people that are peculiar, and that's just the nature, that's just how it is. Like, and I like peculiarism, I like the people that are quirky, and because I was raised that way. Like, my mom is a Virgo, but she's so artistic that her brain is like, whoop, left. So I grew up on like quirkiness, things that were seen different, that is like between my mom and my dad. So I relish in the differences. I relish in people that have different backgrounds and different things going on, that is like intriguing to me. Again, Aquarius wants to know. They want to, like, what? Wow, that's interesting. That sparks me. I want to be in that. I want to know about that, and I want to get that information, right? But then it's like, once they get it, once they know it, then it's like, all right, then they're chilling, and we're gonna see what else we can get into next. It's not always Aquarian energy, even though it's an air energy. It's a fixed sign. It doesn't pop and move the way the other air signs do. Like, specifically Gemini, it does not pop and move like Gemini. It's a little reserved. So yeah, that's why I kind of favor it in my top 5 signs, because it's just the energy, not because I'm a rising sign. That's the only Aquarian energy in me. Most part, like I said, I got like 6 signs. So, well, Aquarius is 6, but fire signs. I don't have a lot of air signs in my chart. Thank goodness, because I just like, woof. So yeah, like I said, the energy will be good. So just be on the lookout. Those, again, who are living down south, make sure you get your supplies, because this polar vortex is supposed to be hitting, sometime this weekend. So we just want to be on the lookout. And so again, if anybody's wanting to get the readings, do not book on the website right now because the website is it's active, but it's defunct, if you know what that means. Like, it's not really working because I haven't set up a calendar. And so, and I won't be able to set up a calendar just yet until I get more clarity of what's going on with the family situation. So if somebody's interested in getting a reading, you just go into my my Instagram and send me a DM, and then we'll do the payments that way, because the payments are linked to my website. So sorry if you don't have Instagram. I'm sorry, but trust me, the calendar is going to be up and running very soon. Check the community section where I post what's going on with the channel. If there's any changes, I'll definitely let you guys know exactly when to book a reading through my website. What else? I think that's about it. I think that's covered. I didn't get the week message for the cards on Monday, so I'll do that after I finish here with you guys and post up on my shorts on YouTube. What else? I'm almost about to finish here. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. That's really it. So I thank everybody that stopped by, that sent this out, that shared it. For those that will be catching the replay, I appreciate you guys very much. And thank you for sticking around with me almost 5 years come March. So I'll be coming up on my 5th anniversary. And numbers 5. 5 is about change, right? So we'll see what's going on. Yeah, that's it. That's really just it, guys. Thank you for everybody that stopped by. And salute to you all. Be well, stay good. Catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.